Have you ever been scrolling through social media, seen an old friend or someone your age achieving a massive milestone, and suddenly you felt a tightness in your chest, a sinking feeling of envy mixed with deep insecurity? You catch yourself asking, why them? Why not me? Am I just unlucky? Or am I genuinely not good enough? We often look at highly successful people like Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, or even the talented boss you admire and assume they possess some superhuman DNA or a rare stroke of luck. But psychology proves otherwise. The difference between the top 1% and the other 99% isn't found in their IQ scores or their family wealth. It is found in the operating system of their mind. Success isn't an act. Success is a consequence of how your brain processes information, handles adversity, and manages emotion. Today, at Psychovive, we are not going to tell you to wait up at 5 a.m. or take cold showers. We are going deep into the psychological anatomy of greatness. These are the 7 secret mental habits, the background algorithms running in the brains of the most successful people on Earth. And the good news? You can reprogram your brain to install them. Take a deep breath. Let's begin the process of rewiring your mind. The 7 habits. 1. The first habit, internal locus of control imaging to people face a massive storm. That shuts down their businesses. Person A says, the market is terrible. The government didn't help. I have the worst luck. Person B says, this storm was out of my hands. But what can I do right now to minimize the damage? How do I pivot my product to adapt to this new reality? The difference here is a psychological concept called the locus of control. Average people often operate with an external locus of control. They believe their lives are dictated by fate, other people, or circumstances. When they fail, they play the victim. And when you are a victim, you don't have to take responsibility, but you also forfeit the power to change your life. In contrast, highly successful people possess a strong internal locus of control. They believe, I am the captain of my ship, even in the most tragic situations. They don't focus on what was lost. They focus on what they can influence. This isn't delusional confidence. It is a psychological survival mechanism that prevents them from falling into learned helplessness. You want success? Start by deleting every excuse from your vocabulary. 2. The second habit, delayed gratification and dopamine management. You remember the famous marshmallow test? The children who could sit and stare at a marshmallow for 15 minutes without eating it, just to get a second one as a reward, grew up to be vastly more successful than those who ate it immediately. In our modern world, our brains are under constant attack by cheap dopamine, Facebook notifications, TikTok shorts, fast food, online shopping. People who struggle to move forward are often slaves to instant gratification. They want results now. They go to the gym for 3 days and want ABS. They work for a month and want a promotion. Successful people have a counterintuitive mental habit. They fall in love with the discomfort of waiting. They understand the law of compound interest. They are willing to endure boring discipline today to exchange it for massive freedom 10 years from now. They train their brains not to react to short-term triggers. When you see someone grinding in the dark for years without applause, they aren't suffering, they are playing a long-term chess game that dopamine addicts simply cannot comprehend. 3. The third habit, metacognition, thinking about thinking. Most of us live on autopilot. We think, but we rarely observe our own thoughts. Successful people possess high metacognition, essentially thinking about thinking. They have the ability to detach themselves from their chaotic stream of consciousness and observe it like a third party. When they feel rage, instead of screaming, they ask, why is my reaction so intense? What deep-seated fear is this triggering in me? When they feel lazy, they ask, is my body actually tired? Or is my mind just afraid of a difficult task? This habit prevents them from being drowned by their emotions. They are their own psychologists. They constantly debug their brains every single day. If you want to reach the top, you must learn not to trust every thought that pops into your head. Question them. Test them. Adjust them. 4. The fourth habit, reframing failure associated, teaches us that failure is a stain, a sign that you are not good enough. This creates a paralyzing fear. But to great minds, failure is simply data. Thomas Edison didn't fail 10,000 times to make a light bulb. He found 10,000 ways that didn't work. This is the core of the growth mindset that Dr. Carol Dweck speaks about. Successful people separate the act of failing from their identity. When a project crashes, the average person says, "I am a failure," an attack on the ego. The successful person says, "Where was the flaw in the strategy? Okay, next time I will adjust variable X and Y." A focus on the process. They aren't afraid of being wrong. They are only afraid of not learning from being wrong. The ability to become desensitized to the shame of stumbling is the strongest armor. That helps them walk through fires where others would have quit long ago. 5. The fifth habit, essentialism. The ruthless editor Warren Buffett once said, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything." We often think successful people do everything. Busy 24/7. That is a myth. Extreme busyness is often a sign of a lack of priority. Successful people have the mental habit of a ruthless editor. They constantly cut the noise out of their lives. They say no to pointless happy hours, no to toxic relationships, and no to good opportunities to save space for the great opportunities. They protect their energy and focus like a rare resource. They understand that if you try to go in every direction, you end up going nowhere. This habit requires courage because you will disappoint people. But to achieve greatness, you must be willing to be misunderstood. 6. The sixth habit, ambiguity tolerance. Biologically, humans crave safety and certainty. We want to know the outcome. We want a clear map. That is why many people stay in soul-sucking jobs, because it is safe. But the highest achievers often venture into uncharted territory. Entrepreneurship, investing, creative arts. These are paths filled with fog. Their mental habit is the ability to remain calm amidst chaos. They are comfortable not knowing what tomorrow looks like. They dare to take a step without seeing the whole staircase. In psychology, this relates to AQ adversity quotient. Instead of panicking in the absence of information, they view ambiguity as part of the game. They trust their ability to figure things out more than they trust the stability of the external world. 7. The seventh habit, grounded gratitudinally, and most importantly, yet often misunderstood. We hear about gratitude as a spiritual practice, but neuroscientifically, gratitude is the antidote to envy and burnout. Successful people don't wait until they reach the finish line to be happy. They find joy in the climb. They are grateful for the resources they have, and even grateful for the rivals that make them stronger. Why does this matter? Because a brain in a positive state is 31% more intelligent and productive than a brain in a negative or stressed state. According to research by Sean Aker, gratitude helps them maintain sustainable energy. If you run on the fuel of hatred or fear, you will burn out before you reach the top. But if you run on the fuel of joy and appreciation, your energy is limitless. Conclusion and call to action, my friends. Listening to this, you might feel a bit overwhelmed. You might be asking, how can I possibly change a thinking system that has been wired into me for years? Don't worry. Neuropsychology has proven the existence of neuroplasticity. Your brain is not concrete. It is clay. Every time you choose to pause before reacting in anger, every time you choose to do the hard work instead of scrolling on your phone, every time you stand up after a failure without complaining, you are physically carving new pathways in your cerebral cortex. You don't need to implement all 7 habits tonight. Choose one habit that you feel you are missing the most. Maybe it's learning to say no, or maybe it's focusing on what you can control. Practice it tomorrow. Just one small shift in mindset can create a butterfly effect, completely altering the trajectory of your life. Success is not reserved for a chosen few. It is waiting for those brave enough to master their own minds. If this video touched a nerve or sparked a realization, don't keep it to yourself. Share it to spread this positive mindset. And most importantly, hit that subscribe button for Psychovive right now. Here, we don't just give information. We heal and upgrade to the best version of ourselves together every single day. Let us know in the comments below, which of these habits do you want to master first? We'd love to hear your story. Thank you for spending your valuable time with Psychovive. See you in the next psychological analysis.